You're listening to the TV Obsessive channel, presented by TVObscast.com.
Hello, welcome back to the TV Obsessive Podcast. This is episode 30. My name is Ryan Kirksey, writer and contributor to TVObsessive.com, and I'm here with Caemeron Crane, the executive editor for the site. You look to have both of your eyes today, Caemeron, so that's a good start already.
Yeah, I'm not totally useless.
Yeah, you're not
No,
useless.
with no offense to people with no eyes.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is like, Ryan's doing the thing where he's alluded to Fargo, which we're going to talk about later, which hopefully you've seen if you listen to the podcast. If not, as per usual, we start these things out. We talk a bit about what's been in the news this week, chat a bit about what we're watching. So in theory, you might just be listening to that part. Sorry if that was at all a Fargo spoiler. I kind of don't think so. Latter half of the pod today, we're going to talk about Fargo season 5, episode 9. We're approaching the end of the season. The title of which is The Useless Hand. Anyway, spoilers later, not spoilers yet. It's January 9th, 2024. Ryan, what do you got? What's in the news this week?
Yeah, things are coming pretty fast and furious now that things are ramping up from the strike being over, holidays being over. Maybe we should just spend just a moment on the news from this Sunday night with the Golden Globes. Surprise, surprise, The Bear and Succession are big winners. They took a lot of the awards, respectively, for comedy or musical and drama series. So yeah, it seems like the acting awards, the overall awards, even the creative and technical awards from the weekend, they just seem to sweep a lot of this. And
Yeah.
I guess it's what we thought would happen.
I mean, it basically is, and particularly in retrospect, I griped about this when we were talking about the nominations because I don't really think Bear is a comedy.
Hmm.
And I really kind of, particularly in retrospect, think they put the bear in the comedy category so they didn't have to decide between the bear and Succession. And
Right.
basically, my claim is they're cowards
They
because I don't think
got
the bear's a
they,
comedy, really. I
yeah, they got to give them both
mean,
the awards, and I
and
forgive.
I have a gripe on the behalf of Barry because, like, I think Barry loses out because you put the bear in the comedy category. But
Yeah, that is a good point. This year, this award season, television award season, Barry will, in one way or another, lose to these shows. It seems not that the other two shows are not deserving, but Barry deserves something, and it may get shut out.
I think it's going to get shut out.
Yeah,
Just from, in particular, seeing with the Golden Globes how they didn't even backdoor in anything for best actor or anything like
yeah,
that. But so it goes. We got a bunch of other news. Some things are kind of hitting the radar that are probably really far ahead. So, for example, like I was reading, there are some talks about a potential third season of Big Little Lies, which I believe won an Emmy for limited series. Is that
I saw
fair?
that.
We retrospectively take that away and
Yeah,
I give it to Twin Peaks or something. I don't even know if I'm getting my years right. It's a limited series. What are you like for?
yeah, no, too popular to be a limited series. Yeah, I saw Reese Witherspoon put something out or reference this. So yeah, this is happening, I guess.
What I read is Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman want it to happen, and they're the ones pushing for it. So it seems relatively likely. Did you watch the show at all? Did you
I,
kind of?
I've not seen this show. Is this a soapy show? Is this what kind of show is Big Little Lies?
It's kind of soapy.
Okay.
I think I got sucked in from the buzz and watched the first season, and then I can't even quite recall if I started watching the second season and quit, or if I said this was supposed to be a limited series, I'm not watching anymore as like a weird principled stand that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of felt like season 1 was sufficient, like they had the
Yeah.
story, and then it really did feel like one of these things where the show was so successful and critically acclaimed that they would give it more. So um
For some reason, my mind just always, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I think Reese Witherspoon's in both, is that this show and the morning show are like the same kind of thing. People watch it because it just sort of sucks you in, but they don't necessarily like it or they don't necessarily think it's good. I may be completely wrong about that. These are two different properties.
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't seen the morning show at all. What I do recall from Big Little Lies season one, anyway,
Yeah.
is I think you asked if it was soapy. I mean, to some extent, because there's like a lot of kind of ins and outs and twists
Mm.
and turns and um, deception, which I'm sure is surprising given the title of
Yeah.
the show. But I mean, it was like a solid drama.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, that's well, they hope that that is coming. One thing that we know is coming, finally, is after much delay. This was apparently about ready to kick off before the strike happened in the spring. Stranger Things season 5 has finally begun production. This happened yesterday, January 8th. We're recording on Tuesday. Um, so they announced this with a tweet, a post, or whatever you want to call it, of a picture of the cast. They've got a problem on their hands. These guys are all like 42 years old now and
yeah.
supposed to be playing ninth graders or something. So I don't know how they're going to get away without a time jump in this season 5, but the cast has quite grown up in the past 2 years since this came out.
I mean, in part, the worry is a product of our times. No one used to worry about this. We
Yeah,
all watched Beverly Hills 90210 and all the cast members were in their 30s and stuff. Like it was.
that's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious. It's possible too. They might get into some of this de-aging stuff
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
where right now. I personally, what I really respect is something like what they did on Better Call Saul, where they just said deal with it.
yeah,
Suspend your disbelief or whatever, right? This is a younger Bob Odenkirk. What do you mean he looks older?
exactly.
But it is a little bit tougher when you're dealing with like teenagers and
Yeah.
and,
In
and
the
stuff
end, I
like
think
that.
that's what's going to
It's
happen.
scary.
The people that run the show are going to say, you care about this show so much, you should not care about that.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah,
even I would say that's my hope because
yeah,
I think it's either going to be that or they're going to get into like some weird de-aging territory, and
yeah,
I don't, unless they had already planned some kind of time jump.
yeah,
I don't think they're going to do that. So hopefully they just ask us pretend the 13.
yeah. Which they did sort of box themselves into a corner with the end of season 4 that would make a time jump very hard to do.
Yeah,
But again, this is probably not coming out till 2025. Maybe one of the most anticipated final scenes of any show ever.
yeah,
So I'm just excited to see that they're back at it.
yeah. Other things that are maybe uh, way down the line, and I'm going to give one that we may or may not care about. But NCIS is like the most popular show in the world,
Yeah,
and they're making a prequel series now. They're gonna do the young Sheldon thing or so whatever. They make a prequel series. Mark Harmon's gonna narrate, and I'm sure grandparents everywhere will love it.
yeah. This will be the most watched show when that comes out. I've never seen an episode of NCIS, but
My
man,
grandma used to watch it.
what's
My,
that?
my grandma, my grandma used to watch it.
Yeah,
She called it Navy Nicks. She like turn the sound way up. And,
I mean, if you can get 20 million people to keep watching your show every week, then yeah, you're doing something right. Good for
and
you.
yeah, and I'm reading about this. It's been like 20 years of this franchise, and they've
Yeah.
had all these spin-offs and so on. So, like why not? We've got a stalwart of network TV here. So I'm sure some people are looking forward to that.
Yeah,
But
here's my Mark Harmon fact. You want to know the first time I remember seeing Mark Harmon? Remember,
you
I'm
have a distinct memory? I don't know that I do. What do
I'm
you
born in
got?
1979. That's the year of my birth. So the first time I remember seeing Mark Harmon was on a TV miniseries about where he played John Dillinger, the gangster John Dillinger. This is from 1991, and I just for some reason that it's always stuck in my head. Him being spoiler, John Dillinger was killed by the police outside a movie theater. Um, and for some reason, that memory of him is stuck into my mind forever. So whenever I see Mark Hartman, I picture John Dillinger. That's so
Wow.
there's your useless fact of the day.
I could not tell you where the first time was I saw Mark Harmon. It wasn't NCIS for sure. Like already when he was doing NCIS, he already felt to me like this kind of guy who'd been around forever.
Yeah.
So
Apparently, he was in 4 episodes of Moonlighting. So in your
it,
binge of Moonlighting, you may see him there.
it was the moonlighting arc. Stuck with me. I just feel like he was one of those guys. He was in like all kinds of stuff. I do kind of think NCIS might have been the first time he was the lead.
Yeah.
In a series like this. In other news, Minx was canceled again. You ever watch Minx?
I've never. I will admit I didn't even know what this was when I saw it in the notes. I've never seen Minx before.
Me neither, actually. But I know that it has something of a fandom, and it was on HBO Max, and they canceled it after one season, and then
Yeah.
Stars picked it up for season 2, and now Stars has canceled it. It got some praise for what it was doing in terms of something related to pornography is going on here, but then also I think it was like got some plaudits as like being feminist-ish or something. I don't know. Apologies to people who like Minx, but I wanted to mention this is actually me. I'm mentioning it to give sympathy to the Minx fans out there because I know that they exist, and it sucks to see.
Okay.
Sucks to see some of these shows that don't. They feel like they're not getting a chance now, or something like that, or they got canceled one place, got picked up another, but then they cancel it again. And it's more of a long-term worry I have about these kind of less than hugely popular shows getting a chance anymore.
Yeah. Well, sort of segueing to more HBO material, there was some Last of Us casting news that came out. Pedro Pascal has been all around sort of hyping this up and saying they're about to start soon and season 2 is going to begin production. But what caught my eye really was some comments by Nick Offerman over the weekend at the Golden Globes, where he admitted that there has been a pitch made to HBO for a Bill and Frank prequel series, for a spinoff to The Last of Us. Now, you and I discussed this episode several weeks ago.
You did.
You know how much I love this episode of television. I'm going to say I actually don't want this. I don't want it to or take away from some of the magic that was that thing that sort of stood by itself in this larger show. Would it be interesting with Offerman and Murray Bartlett? Absolutely. Would I watch it? Yes. But I think I'd rather let that episode stand for all time by itself instead of a prequel show about the two of these guys.
Yeah, I agree completely. I've seen that episode, and we're going to tie this into something that maybe I was going to say down the line, but the seg's here. We were talking about Sexy Beast, and now they're going to make a prequel series of Sexy Beast. Last week, I went and watched the film again, which I hadn't seen. I was like, yeah, this is a good film. I like this, so I think I'm going to check out the show and watch it. But at the same time, I kind of don't want it to exist.
Yeah.
Because the film plays with this implied backstory so well that to like create an explicit version of the backstory, I worry about undermining the power of the original film. And I think my worry with the Bill and Frank thing would be really similar. You have this powerful, self-contained story, and I worry that a prequel would kind of undermine the impact of it.
Right. And if you remember the episode, they meet for the first time, say 2 or 3 years into this, this event happening. So a prequel series means they're separated.
Yeah.
And why do I want to see something that just follows the two of them in separate places at separate times? I just don't think we need that.
Yeah. Curious to see if it happens even, right? I mean, some of this stuff we're veering into like, hey, someone said to someone else, maybe we should do this. And I think it's about at that level. So maybe what happened, but it is similar to the Sexy Beast prequel in my mind. I might watch it.
Yeah.
And I think that gets to the problem, that from kind of artistic point of view, or whatever you want to call it, my opinion is, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But then from like a consumer point of view, I would watch it, So if the network or studio or whatever determines enough people would watch it, well, then they'll go ahead and make it.
Yeah. From a business perspective, they know that people are saying, well, this, is an immediate all-time episode. Well, how can we take advantage of that? It makes sense that they would want to do something, but just, from a perspective of someone that loved it so much, I don't want to have anything ruin it. So We'll see. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But that's many, many years down the road, apparently.
And well, and there's just such a limited chance that they would do something and do it well, and it would stand on its own merits and really feel like it was worth doing. I mean, I guess that's possible here, but um, one of the reasons why I give so much praise to Better Call Saul is I think it's really hard to do a prequel well. That doesn't feel like it's just kind of gimmicky, and I can't think of a lot of examples other than Better Call Saul.
One thing we do know that will be coming on HBO relatively soon is White Lotus season 3, projected to come out in 2025, and there was some casting news this week. This has, of course, been one of these very interesting ensemble shows, on location shows. They're going to start filming in Thailand next month. And Leslie Bibb, Jason Isaacs, Michelle Monaghan, Parker Posey, several others have been named to the cast. Some of the holdovers from season 1 to season 2, we haven't seen or heard anything about those. Nothing in regards of the spoilers of the plot of that show, but this is more in the anthology nature with a new cast each season. But yeah, let's just get this going, get this as quickly as we can, because there's some highly anticipated themes and ideas coming out of the Thailand season, apparently for number 3.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Anyone particularly pop for you personally on that casting list? Anyone that you particularly, yourself thought, oh, that's great, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think Parker Posey would be a great addition. I can only imagine someone like Leslie Bibb is going to be some kind of middle-aged mom with some sort of neurosis or issue or something that she's trying to work out while on vacation or something. This show deals with a lot of the wealthy and the high society and the things that they're able to do and the problems they have. So yeah, I mean, just the females to me certainly stand out with Leslie Bibb, Michelle Monaghan, and Parker Posey. That's a pretty strong top line.
Yeah, Parker Posey would be the one for me too. As someone who, at one point in his life, like back in the 90s, would like seek out indie films and be at Blockbuster and go, "Oh, Parker Posey's in this." So, but Jason Isaacs too has done some really good work. So, in particular, I'd call out his performance in the OA. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I think that's about the news. Yes, Adam's okay. So, yeah, what have you been watching lately?
Yeah, it's kind of a season of endings and beginnings right now. I know you and I are both watching shows that end this week. We know Fargo ends not this week, but next.
Yeah.
Monarch, I'll be recapping the final 2 episodes ready for the site on Friday. So that ends this week. And then the binge for the Marvel show Echo is tonight, here Tuesday night, January 9th. I'm going to give that a go, try to maybe tomorrow do it all in one sitting. Looking to see how Marvel can handle a TVMA product. But it should we'll have certainly some thoughts on it next week, and may throw something up on the site as well.
Cool. Yeah. What did you mention briefly? I've got The Curse. Finale of The Curse is impending. I'm not allowed to say anything. Like the stuff from Showtime says, don't say anything. I've seen it. I've written on it. And oh boy, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, how the world reacts. I'll just leave it there. I don't think that's a spoiler. Other than that, yeah, we got Fargo. That's coming to a close. Of course, also on the horizon here is True Detective Night Country, which I guess I mentioned now, or we're planning to talk about on the podcast next up. So we're kind of figuring out the logistics. We're going to double up a little bit between Fargo and True Detective because they overlap just a little bit. But I'm definitely looking forward to that one as well. Other than that,
I'll plan to have a piece up each Sunday night about True Detective. It's just 6 weeks, so I'll have first one up Sunday night this week, first episode.
Yeah, doubling up there. Ryan's going to write on it, and we're going to talk about it, and that'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be good. It'll be good.
I'm starting to see the Silence of the Lambs comparisons, which I'm interested to dig into it and see how accurate those are.
I don't know. It's probably just a Jodie Foster of it all, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see. Um, Beyond that, Celebrity Jeopardy resumed, and
Oh, good. Okay.
so that's out there. And I kind of got into a little game show kick. I started watching reruns of Match Game. You ever watch Match Game?
Yeah, I've seen Match Game.
So this is the Alec Baldwin version. I don't know if there's any
Oh,
ethical qualms about watching Alec
yeah.
Baldwin. Um, I did shout out to Wikipedia. I wondered because it got canceled. I was like, well, did it get canceled because of the shooting thing?
Yeah.
And apparently the answer is no. But the Wikipedia page makes a point of saying that they canceled Match Game before that happened.
Before that
So
happened. Okay.
okay, fine. But I used to watch the old '70s version, which was always reruns, because I wasn't alive then. Was that Richard Dawkins? I think
Richard Dawson, yeah, 70s and
Richard
80s game
Dawson.
shows
Richard
just
Dawson.
remain unmatched. So those were fantastic.
Yeah, but I did think the rebooted version of Match Game worked relatively well. The contestants do not win very much money. It was like, oh, congratulations, you got $1,000. You get
You
go to the
covered your
super
flight out to
match round
LA.
and turn that into $5,000. It's nothing to sneeze at, I suppose. But anyway, I enjoy it. I don't know, just how it's like implicitly there's like bonus points for double entendres and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
It's just
Oh, yeah.
kind of an entertaining show. So I wasted some time on that. Um, all right. Well, I think should we get to Fargo?
I think we should. I think we've exhausted all the news and notes. So let's dive into episode 9.
Okay, so on the other side of our quick little break here, we're going to talk about Fargo, season 5, episode 9, Tell the Useless Hand. Again, all spoilers on the table for Fargo up through this point, and yeah, I'll see you in about 10 seconds.